Big U's son was tragically aired out. He got his TV turned off.
I want to sign too, Grimy. Look at these two dudes, Uiie and Nipsey Hussle. On the block.
What is that, yo? What you filming on? That's
I'm on Instagram. Oh, Instagram.
Looking up.
Halloween night, 2025. 34-year-old Jabari Henley, known as Baby Uiie, approached a parked vehicle outside a smoke shop at 69th Street and Figueroa in South Los Angeles. What happened next would serve as a reminder and shatter every street cred that his father had in the streets.
That was the football player / rapper that went to the studio, and after he left the studio, he ended up with his TV turned off, and his mother, she put her trust in the Big U to protect and guide her son. And tragically,
4 years ago, Shadonna Brown trusted a man named Eugene Big U Henley with her son's life. Her 24-year-old son, Rayshawn Williams, was an aspiring rapper and former high school football player with dreams bigger than South Los Angeles could contain. Big U, a music executive who ran Unique Music and positioned himself as a mentor to young artists, promised opportunity. In January 2021, Big U invited Rayshawn to Las Vegas for studio sessions, paying for his flight and accommodations. It seemed like the break Rayshawn had been waiting for. A chance to record music. A chance to escape the limited options available to young black men trying to survive gang territory. But Rayshawn made a fatal mistake. He recorded a diss track mocking Big U. Even more haunting, the lyrics predicted his own death, referencing being shot with a .38 caliber weapon that would leave no trace. On January 25, 2021, at 1:13 a.m., surveillance cameras captured Rayshawn leaving his Airbnb, getting into a dark sedan with his suitcase. Hours later, Big U returned to the recording studio appearing soaked, claiming he'd been to the gym. At 9 a.m., Rayshawn's body was found near the Apex landfill off Interstate 15, shot multiple times in the face, dragged to a ditch. No shell casings remained, consistent with a revolver. Exactly as his diss track had predicted, federal investigators believe Big U murdered Rayshawn Williams. Cell phone data places Big U in Las Vegas during the murder window. There's a suspicious gap in his phone activity between 12:58 a.m. and 2:15 a.m., precisely when Rayshawn vanished. Surveillance equipment at the studio was tampered with, unplugged, removed. Big U never contacted Rayshawn's family after the death. In 2023, FBI wiretaps caught him instructing his son and others to remain silent about police inquiries. Shadonna Brown publicly states she believes Big U killed her son. The pain in her voice is undeniable, the betrayal absolute. Fast forward to March 2025. Eugene Big U Henley Jr., 58 years old, was arrested on a 43-count federal RICO indictment. The charges read like a crime syndicate playbook. RICO conspiracy, 18 Hobbs Act robbery and extortion charges, Mann Act violations for sex trafficking, 15 wire fraud counts, embezzlement from federally funded organizations, bank fraud, tax evasion, and at the heart of it all, the alleged murder of Rayshawn Williams. Prosecutors allege Big U ran what they call the Big U Enterprise, a mafia-like criminal operation working with the Rollin 60 Crips gang from 2010 through his arrest. While presenting himself publicly as a reformed gang member, community activist, and music executive, federal authorities say he was systematically terrorizing South Los Angeles through violence, fraud, and exploitation. His nonprofit, Developing Options, received federal grants meant to prevent gang violence. NBA players donated money believing they were supporting positive community work. Instead, prosecutors allege Big U embezzled those funds for personal use while maintaining his criminal empire. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. A man claiming to save young people from gang life allegedly murdered a young man who trusted him. A man receiving taxpayer dollars to reduce violence allegedly ran a 15-year criminal enterprise built on intimidation and bloodshed. Big U pleaded not guilty in April 2025. He sits in federal detention awaiting trial. If convicted on just the RICO conspiracy charge, he faces potential life imprisonment. With 42 additional counts, he will almost certainly die behind bars. But the story doesn't end with Big U's arrest, because on Halloween night 2025, the debts of the street came due in the most brutal way imaginable.
The last time we sat down, a lot has transpired in the news. Big U.
34-year-old Jabari Henley is the son of Eugene Henley, better known as Big U. Eugene Henley once managed Nipsey Hussle and is alleged to be the former leader of the Rollin' 60s Crips gang. Police say Jabari was shot and killed near Figueroa and 69th Street after he walked up to a vehicle and someone inside opened fire before driving off. Police say his father's gang ties are
on Halloween day.
34-year-old Jabari Baby Uiie Henley, Big U's son, was gunned down outside a smoke shop at 69th Street and Figueroa in South Los Angeles. The time, approximately 10:30 p.m. on October 31st, 2025. He approached a parked vehicle, someone inside opened fire, and Jabari collapsed on the pavement. The vehicle sped away. No arrests have been made.
You see it now, don't you see? Big U, you see it now, right? You see it when they come to your cell and say, hey, I gotta holler at you. Talk to you. Who was that? That's a chaplain? Oh shit, that's chaplain. Chaplain on the block, y'all, the chaplain on the block. What's going on? Chaplain on the block, man, he's looking for Big U. Those are some cold conversations.
Inside federal detention, Big U learned his son had been murdered. Co-defendant Termaine Loose Cannon Williams delivered the news and suggested Big U might know who was responsible. Think about that moment. You're locked in a cell, facing life in prison for allegedly murdering someone else's son, and now your own son has been executed in the streets. You cannot comfort your family. You cannot investigate. You cannot protect anyone. You can only sit with the knowledge that everything you built, everything you allegedly did to maintain power and dominance, couldn't save your own child.
But it's like, Big U finally knows what it feels like to go through what he put other parents through. And I hate to say it.
The parallels between Rayshawn Williams' death and Jabari Henley's death are impossible to ignore. Both young men with their whole lives ahead of them, both cut down by gunfire. Both deaths connected to Big U's alleged life of violence. One victim of Big U's alleged brutality. One victim of the revenge that violence inevitably generates. This is the mathematics of the streets. Violence multiplied by time equals more violence. Every action generates equal and opposite reactions that compound across years, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And Halloween 2025 became that moment for the Henley family.
He dished it. How they say you reap what you sow? It's coming back to Big U full.
Jabari Henley grew up as the son of one of Los Angeles' most notorious gang leaders. Eugene Big U Henley Jr. rose to prominence in the 1980s as a member and eventual leader of the Rollin' 60 neighborhood Crips, one of the city's most powerful street gangs. While Big U later cultivated a public image as a reformed activist and music industry figure who managed hip-hop legend Nipsey Hussle, his past, and according to federal prosecutors, his present was steeped in violence. Growing up in that shadow meant Jabari inherited enemies he never made, inherited conflicts he never started, inherited a debt ledger written in blood long before he was born.
You know, your son was out there banging. We know one thing about banging. That comes with the, the gang.
The night of October 31st, 2025, was Halloween. While families walked the streets in costumes collecting candy, while children laughed and played, Jabari pulled up to a smoke shop at the intersection of 69th Street and Figueroa. He approached a vehicle. Someone inside that vehicle opened fire without warning. Multiple shots. Jabari collapsed. The vehicle disappeared into the Halloween night. Los Angeles Police Department officers arrived to find Jabari beyond saving. Despite attempts at CPR captured on bystander video, he was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation immediately centered on gang connections, which makes sense given the location, the method, and most importantly, who Jabari's father was. But what happened next reveals the true horror of gang culture and the cycle of revenge. According to multiple community sources and observers, approximately 3 hours after Jabari was killed, 3 individuals were shot and killed in what appeared to be immediate retaliation.
OG, it was said that an hour later, retaliation transpired where 3 people were killed from the neighborhood in which Big U's son was pronounced unalive. What do you make of the get back happening so quick?
What you call the get back? I mean, immediately. That let you know some people out here love. Some people out here love. So you ain't gonna just run them gun down everybody and think ain't nobody coming over. Where you get killed at over there across the street? Well, guess what? The whole street in danger.
1 death becomes 4 deaths. 4 deaths will become more. The arithmetic is brutal and precise. Each killing generates the next. Each act of violence creates future victims whose names we don't yet know, but whose fates are already written.
That wasn't no any just a kid in the street. But that's what you call the get back. What I think about it happening so fast, it couldn't happen soon enough. You understand me? Everybody ain't gonna leave here and ain't nobody gonna pay them back. People get mad and people get crying and get the goddamn frustrated because, man, that was the that he meant something to somebody. When you mean something to somebody, somebody gonna do something about it.
The question everyone asks, why was Jabari killed? Was it revenge for Rayshawn Williams' death 4 years earlier? Was it payback for one of the 18 alleged extortion schemes detailed in Big U's federal indictment? Was it connected to some other violence from Big U's decades in the streets? Or was Jabari simply caught in crossfire that had nothing to do with him personally but everything to do with the name he carried? Let me know what you think in the comments section. The truth is probably all of the above. In gang culture, grievances accumulate like interest on unpaid debts. They compound over time. They wait for opportunity. And when weakness presents itself, when the protector is locked away, when vulnerability is exposed, that's when the bill comes due.
Big U put in a lot of pain in these streets, and he ain't here no more to protect his cavalry. In life, you reap what you sow. How they say, it's a cold world even when it's hot outside.
Social media reaction to Jabari's death revealed the complicated feelings many in the community harbor about the Henley family. On X, users invoked phrases like "chickens coming home to roost," suggesting cosmic justice at work. Comments referenced Nipsey Hussle with "the marathon continues," linking this tragedy to the broader history of Los Angeles gang violence. Others specifically mentioned Rayshawn Williams, the young man whose mother trusted Big U. Some expressed genuine sympathy for Jabari, noting he was his own person and shouldn't be held responsible for his father's alleged crimes. Others saw karmic retribution, pointing out that Big U was finally experiencing the same grief he allegedly inflicted on Shadona Brown and other families. The Henley family's tragedy extends beyond just Jabari and Big U. Jabari's brother, Dian Henley, is a linebacker for the Los Angeles Chargers. He learned about his brother's murder during a game. Imagine processing that information. Your brother just got executed while surrounded by cameras, teammates, and the obligations of professional sports. Dian represents the exception, the one who escaped, who made it to the NFL and legitimate success. But even that couldn't shield him from the violence that claimed his brother. Now the family is fractured across impossible realities. One son dead in the streets, one son in the NFL trying to process unimaginable grief, and a father locked in federal detention facing life in prison. Big U must now grieve alone. The punishment of incarceration isn't the cell or the bars. It's missing everything that matters. It's not being able to comfort your surviving son. It's not being able to hold your family during the worst moment of their lives. It's processing trauma in isolation with nothing but your thoughts and the weight of every choice that led you there.
Full throttle. Because at the same time, he's fighting for his life. His son just lost his life. At the same time, he's getting ready to be judged by 12 jurors. His son is about to be carried by 6 and put in a grave. And the crazy part about it is, even if they let him, which I doubt, get a pass to go to the funeral, the next time he stand over his son, it'll be in handcuffs. And he'll be looking down at his dead body.
Even if prison officials allow Big U to attend Jabari's funeral, which is unlikely given his charges, he'll do so in handcuffs and leg shackles, surrounded by U.S. Marshals, unable to embrace his family. He'll stand over his son's coffin as a prisoner, not as a father. and then he'll return to his cell to await trial for allegedly killing someone else's son. The investigation into Jabari's murder continues. The LAPD is exploring all angles, particularly focusing on gang affiliations, but realistically, arrests may never come. Witnesses in gang cases rarely cooperate. Physical evidence is often limited. The suspects fled immediately. Street justice operates on different rules than the legal system.
Cars are the new coffins. I told y'all that. The cars are the new coffins.
The method of the killing approaching a vehicle, sudden gunfire from inside, represents a common pattern in gang violence. Cars become mobile execution chambers. They provide anonymity, quick escape, and tactical advantage. They transform mundane moments into potential ambushes. Pulling up to a smoke shop becomes a life or death situation when you carry certain names and certain histories. The question at the heart of this tragedy: was Jabari Henley's murder revenge for Rayshawn Williams' death? The evidence points strongly toward yes. The timing 4 years after Rayshawn's murder, during Big U's federal detention when he's most vulnerable and unable to retaliate. The method sudden, brutal, efficient, mirroring the violence Big U allegedly used. The message your son for someone else's son? A biblical eye for an eye, justice that the streets understand perfectly. Federal prosecutors have built a comprehensive case showing Big U allegedly murdered Rayshawn Williams after the young rapper recorded a diss track. The evidence includes cell phone data, surveillance footage, witness testimony about Big U appearing soaked after the murder, destruction of recording equipment, and wiretapped conversations where Big U coordinates a cover-up. Rayshawn's mother, Shadonna Brown, has been vocal in her belief that Big U killed her son. She trusted Big U. She believed he would mentor and protect Rayshawn. Instead, she believes he murdered him over a song. The betrayal is profound, the grief permanent, the anger justified. Now, 4 years later, Big U sits in a cell experiencing the exact same grief he allegedly inflicted. His son is dead, killed suddenly, violently, without warning. The symmetry is almost poetic if it weren't so tragic. This is how the streets operate. Every action creates future consequences. Every show of force generates reactions that may take years but arrive with mathematical certainty. You kill someone's child, and eventually, someone kills yours. The timing might be immediate or it might be years later, but the debt always comes due. Big U is 58 years old. If convicted on just the RICO conspiracy charge, he faces potential life imprisonment. With 42 additional counts, his sentence would effectively guarantee he dies behind bars. His prime years are gone. His ability to protect his family is gone. His influence on the streets is gone. And Jabari is still dead. Rayshawn is still dead. The 3 people allegedly killed in retaliation hours after Jabari's murder are still dead. The cycle continues, consuming lives like fuel, generating heat and light that illuminate nothing but more violence. The streets remember everything, and they always collect their debts. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.